Welcome in. Welcome to my podcast, Real Talk with Coach Sherri. I hope you all are doing well this evening. And as you know, this podcast is part of the YouTube channel, and I am live here, but on replay. Leave me a comment. I will building, catching all of this after the broadcast. So today I wanted to talk about tips on boosting your focus. And when you of any age really, but I'm noticing the older I get, the less focus I have. I'm easily distracted, and I have to always remind myself to stay in the moment, and I redirect myself, course correct myself so that I can stay focused. And if that is you, then you are probably in the right podcast or listening to the right topic this evening. Having self awareness is so important when it comes to understanding your focus or the lack thereof. Sometimes, you may ask yourself these types of questions when you're realizing that you're losing focus at what is at hand. And so, some of those questions could be, am I present and fully engaged in this moment? And if you have asked yourself, then that's probably because you have lost focus. And so you want to definitely understand that about yourself so that you can bring yourself back to what's at hand. Otherwise, things just kind of go awry and you realize up and you're like, man, I haven't accomplished anything. And just in coaching, and coaching clients through challenges like that, they start to feel like they haven't done anything impactful. They feel like they've wasted time. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe the whole entire day has gone by and I still didn't accomplish what I set out to do. You may feel like, well, I'm just tired. I just want to lay here for a few minutes, and that few minutes turns into hours. And in our modern world, we are overcome by endless array of distractions that compete for our attention, and in many of those cases they also hinder our productivity. And when you lose focus, you are not being productive. You may think you are because you may feel like, well, I'm focused on a lot of different things, and that's possible, but you want to do them all with excellence. So there are three types of distractions that I'm going to go over with you today so that you can become more self-aware when those distractions occur. Again, self-awareness is key. When you know yourself, when you understand maybe the feelings that you're having, the things that you're hearing, the things that you're seeing, and you could tell, like, oh, I'm about to lose focus. I'm about to lose my mind. Hold on. I need to, get a grip of what's going on. So, if you are interested in learning more about how to boost your focus, then I recommend you get your pen and paper ready so that you can take down your notes. And be sure after this to reflect on those notes and talk about these different distractions with your family and friends so that you all can become more focused together. I'm always like, listen, it doesn't pay to be the best one in your group. When you know something better, share it with someone. Each one teach one. So I'm hoping that you have your pen and paper ready and are ready to take down these notes. So let me get the first one in. And also, again, thank you so much for being here. You could have been anywhere, and I appreciate you for being in this podcast. So, the first distraction is technology. Now, technology is a big thing. We all use it on a daily basis, and from as early as infants, I'm seeing babies with phones and iPads, and I'm just like, whoa, what is going on? And they are very distracted. Parents are actually giving them these technology devices to make them more distracted. And as a parent, you might want to reconsider that and give them something else, like a book, something they can do with their hands, a puzzle pieces. I know back in the day, there was it was kind of like a home-based business. It was called Discovery Toys, and they had, different types of toys that really help young people with their hands and just thinking out the box and just really great things. Some of the toys were large, some were small, and what I would recommend to new parents, especially, is to get some that are small enough and put them in a bag. So when you go out to a restaurant, to a family member's house, where it's just going to be all adults, and let that be their special bag of toys, things that they will only use in those places, so that it's always kind of new, because maybe you don't go out to eat with your children a lot. Maybe you don't go out to visit family and friends a lot. And so when they see that bag, it's almost like revisiting something new, and try to put something new, exchange the different things in it, but definitely don't just always put a phone or a tablet or something like that in their hands, because those distractions can lead to not being as focused when they really need to. So, technology distractions in the digital age, which is what we're in, and being digital literate is very important, for you personally as well as professionally. But the digital age has also brought with it a constant stream of interruptions that can derail our focus. And I see we have Keisha H is in the building. Hello to you. Thank you for being here. I'm just periodically. Thank you for coming to the podcast. Hope you have your pen and paper ready so that you can take down these notes. All right. So again, with technology, it can definitely derail our focus. Things like emails. I don't know about you, but I get a ton of emails, and the incessant flow of messages demanding immediate attention, that is constant. So you want to set aside time to go through your emails. At first glance, what I do, first thing in the morning is, at first glance, immediately I delete the unsolicited marketing messages just to clear them from my inbox. So a lot of companies are reaching out to me, wanting to um, showcase or um, sell basically products and services that they think will benefit me, my business, my clients, my employees, whatever the case may be. But those are unsolicited. I did not reach out to them. I don't know how they got my contact information, but every day guaranteed I'm going to have them in my inbox. So I want to say, first thing in the morning, give yourself at least an hour to 30 to 35 minutes. Well, I would say an hour first thing in the morning. So, first thing in the morning, give yourself an hour to look over your emails and clean out your inbox. And then mid morning, give yourself 30 to 45 minutes to check your emails again to see what came in that day, anything that needs to be quickly addressed, but around midday. And then at the end of the day, check your emails again for another 30 to 45 minutes to see what else came in that afternoon, what again needs your immediate attention, and also you're starting your task list for the next day. So you want to write down the things that okay, I need to contact this person. So you have a task list of contacting that person. You can also check that email so that you can flag it, so that this is important. So you also, at that midday, check out what has been flagged that you hadn't gotten to and flag the new ones. I don't know what type of email system you use, but I know for me, we use Microsoft Office. And every time you get an email, and it really is, it can be distracting, especially if you're doing a presentation and you forget to turn off your email or your Teams messages or whatever, and your messages start popping up on your presentation. That is so crazy to me. But at any rate, throughout the day, when you get emails, you'll be notified and you can see them. And if you're working on a document, a Word document, or an Excel spreadsheet, or any other type of document, it'll pop up. That could be very distracting. Sometimes, it may not be something you need to address right away, but because it popped up, you're like, oh, wait, let me see what were they saying. That's very distracting, and you're losing focus on what you were doing. So if you just mentally can start preparing yourself to only check your emails 3 times a day, you'll find that you'll have more productivity throughout the day for sure. Also, social media platforms, since we're talking about external distractions, technology in particular, social media is another distraction. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they all offer endless scrolling opportunities. And some people get the notifications when something new is posted, or, you know, um, if someone messages you on one of those platforms, you get that notification. Well, if I'm wanting to see someone's upcoming videos, I definitely will always put on my notification, but I make it so that the notification doesn't ping me. So if I'm not on that platform at that moment, I don't know what's going on because I'm focused on something else. So I'm not always able to see the pre-recorded or the upcoming videos that I did, set my bell to get notified on, because I don't have any of those settings on my devices, to be notified. And I find doing that, it helps me stay focused in what I'm doing. Because listen, a lot of things are very tedious. And sometimes if you look away from it, you can lose your place and it's almost like starting all over again. So you want to stay as focused as possible. And I'm finding the older I get, I'm like, is this adult ADHD? Because I am so easily distracted. That's why if I know I'm working on a project, I close my office door just so that people walking by or conversations I hear in the hallway don't distract me. And also with short reels, like on a TikTok or even Instagram, on YouTube, even Facebook has them now. You might find yourself scrolling through for hours. It's so crazy how something that is less than a minute can take up hours of your time, because you think about it and you say, well, these are really short. I'll just look at a few of them. And that few turns into a ton. And next thing you know, it's so much time that has gone by and you didn't get anything accomplished that you needed to do. So that is something you definitely have to get a handle on. You may have to set a timer. So if you are that one and you're like, listen, Coach Sherri, I need that, that's my outlet. That's something that I really enjoy and I don't want to give up scrolling. I get it. I get it. But you may have to set a timer of how long you can do it. If it's for 15 minutes, set a timer for 15 and adhere to that. Respect yourself enough that when you set that timer that you're going to say, all right, I'm stopping. This is my stopping point. Okay? Because you don't want to overspend that time and lose focus just because you're on social media. Also, on demand entertainment, streaming services, and online content that's available at our fingertips. We have the movies, we have Prime, we have um, even shopping, that's another on demand. That's low key entertainment too. Some people go to the mall for entertainment. So online shopping is the same thing. So you want to minimize the time that you're spending on that. The internet itself, it just has a variety of information that can lead to unproductive browsing. Phone calls. Phone calls, this is dealing with technology, both personal and professional calls that disrupt your workflow. If you know you are unable to have a long conversation when the phone rings, then let it go to voicemail and send a quick text. I know I use an iPhone, and my iPhone, I'm able to send I don't even have to type it out. It gives you those options of, I'll call you back, I'm busy, or whatever. And just click that so that at least the person knows that you see that they called. They don't have to leave a voice message because you're giving them that quick text. And just that's a pre-message and letting them know that you'll get back to them when you have time. Because sometimes if you answer, and I know this is how I know to do it in this way, because sometimes I may quickly answer the phone knowing I don't have time, that I'm busy, and I'm just answering to let that person know, okay, listen, I'm busy, can't really talk. And it never fails. They never adhere to that. They could care less that you're busy because you answer the phone. So how busy must you really be? And they just start telling you something by saying, well, I just have this quick question, or I just really want to tell you something real quick that just happened. And that real quick ends up to be an hour or two. And then you look up and you like, dag on. Now that pushed me back with what I was focused on because I'm, having this conversation. So again, these are those distractions that are technological distractions that, deal with technology and all those things. So the next distraction that we have, oh, I meant to show technological distractions. That's so crazy. All right. So the next distraction are our external distractions. And I'm so funny when it comes to this. I love to have images, and I ultimately always will show the wrong image for the right or the wrong message, but it all is all the same. Okay, so our external distractions and our environment and interactions with others can also really impact our ability to concentrate. Family and friends, they're well meaning and they have well meaning interruptions. And sometimes, in the moment of a loved one, a moment that a loved one may have, that they really want to share with you, they reach out to you because something really, really important is going on in their life. And they don't always have any regards to what may be going on in your life. Give me a thumbs up or put a number 5 in the chat. Or if you're looking at this in the replay, let me know if this happens. They don't give any regards to what's going on in your life. And the key word here is their life. All right. So they have something going on in their life. And in that moment, they just, like, listen, I don't care how busy you are. I don't care if, your world is crashing down around you or whatever, but I need to just throw this all up on you. I need to just tell you this, right? So I want you in those moments to really be mindful of what you have going on during that moment and manage the time and effort and energy that you put into what's going on in their life. Because sometimes you get so distracted by what's going on in someone else's life. And in real life, your life is probably just as challenging or even more challenging. But because you just was like, all right, I'm that one, they always call on me. You have to honor yourself too and take care of what you have. And so, by just saying, wait a minute, I would love to hear what you have to say, what's going on, but at this moment, I have a lot going on too. And I just can't even give you that energy. I can't even help you through this because I'm going through something myself. And you'll be shocked at how fast they get off the phone. They're not going to necessarily ask you, oh, wait, what's going on with you? So honor yourself enough to not have that as an external distraction. Also, clutter, being disorganized, having a disorganized space can overwhelm and distract you as well. I had a client who was having a challenge with reaching their goals, and it was just like, it was really unbelievable, how challenging it was. And after maybe like the first session and a half is when I realized that it was because of the clutter and disorganization in their home space, and that was causing them to not be able to focus. Their ex had recently passed away and left them the house, and they had a son with the ex, and they were remarried. But the ex's house was theirs. It was a better environment, better situation. So they moved into the ex's house, but they didn't take anything out that the ex already had in there. No furniture, no memorabilia. Things were in the attic, things were everywhere, on top of all the things that they brought from their home. And so it's the clients, they just could not focus. They had no clarity in or out of the house, because even when they were out of the house, they kept thinking about the clutter that was back at home, and it was just making life very challenging, and they didn't know how or where to tackle. They were emotionally attached to a lot of the things that were in the house. And so in that case, we had to take baby steps. It's about starting somewhere. It could be with one drawer, it could be with one item. And I said, listen, take pictures. Pictures last longer anyway. Take pictures and repurpose it. There's someone else that would love to have those items that are no longer serving you, or your ex who's no longer here, unfortunately. So little by little, they started to declutter in that way. And now this person is excelling, not only personally, because it was starting to impact their relationship with their current spouse, but it also elevated them professionally. They were able to get a promotion, just doing so much better, having more happiness in their life, happy to go home, happy to leave, happy to know that, what, I'm organized. I know where everything is. I'm not embarrassed. They're having people over. It's just a really good thing. But it took a while. It took a few months. Each week, it's like, little by little, baby steps count too, for sure. Noise is also an external distraction. ambient sounds from traffic, construction, or nearby conversations. And COVID has definitely made a lot of people more sensitive to sound. After several years of us just, being at home and not really having a lot of people around, going back to work in many cases, it triggers people. It's distracting. It's too much. It's too much conversation. It's too much walking around. You can hear people eat lunch, the chewing, all of that has become very distracting, and just so concerned about how long someone is going to hold that conversation that you can overhear in a hallway can sometimes hinder you from continuing to do your work to the best of your ability. So, consider different ways to have sound barriers, maybe earplugs, or maybe going, not working in your personal space, but going somewhere else that's a quieter space. I know a lot of people, I've seen them, move from building to building if you have that ability. Because some places have less traffic and they find those offices or cubicles in a little corner that they feel like, all right, I can get a lot done here. So maybe that's something to consider as well. Weather. Weather is another external distraction. Unexpected changes in climate definitely affects people's mood and their focus. You know how Alaska is 6 months is sun, daylight, and 6 months is nighttime. And when it's at night, people are more depressed. And when it's cold and the weather's not good, people become more depressed and become less focused. I know I have someone on my team, and whenever it rains, they do not do well, and I know that about them. So it's not like I get mad or anything. I already know, oh boy, it's a gloomy day. They may not be at their best today, and you may not give them as much to do, or just have more grace when that's the challenge. Try and get them out of that mood by having uplifting conversations, whatever the case may be, to help with their focus. They Some people really, again, they get depressed and are not motivated to do what needs to be done, so they lose focus. Some people, when it's sunny out, that also can help them lose focus, because beautiful weather is when all they can think about is being outdoors and enjoying that weather. And so that can help them lose focus too. So be mindful. And if one of those are you, be it good weather or bad weather, understand that about yourself, but stay in the moment and get what you have to get done, so that if it's the gloomy weather, you're just trying to get home, just trying to get under those covers, just do what you have to do in that moment. If it's sunny outside, again, just do what you have to do in that moment so that you will have that extra time to go out and enjoy the weather. Also, distracting events like unforeseen occurrences that demand our attention. Those are other things that can be external distractions that are beyond our control, but we can control ourselves. We can control what we think, how we respond. And as long as you know that, then you can definitely overcome that. I'm going to pause right there before I get into the next one. Let me see. And go into the chat. I see OG Brand is in the building. How are you doing, Silly? I hope you're doing good and that you're having a good evening. Yes, I am happy at this moment. Not always happy from other situation, but you know what? We're gonna be all right. We are going to be all right. Thank you for tuning in for sure. All right. So now we're going to look at the next type of distraction, which is the internal distractions. And sometimes the internal ones are the most challenging distractions, because these are the distractions that originate from within ourselves. And an example of an internal distraction are your habits. And habits are ingrained behaviors that may not serve our productivity. Whenever I do training to get people workplace ready, one of the things the training involves the cognitive cycle, which goes into the beliefs that you are born with. And these beliefs sometimes don't always serve you well in professional environments, because when you get into a stressful situation, you may lose focus on what's at hand, and you may prematurely think that, oh, I'm used to this. If they do this to me, then that means that. And that goes into having a lack of communication as well. And that could cause you to not reach your goals. It can cause you to lose your job. So you want to be mindful of those habits that you have ingrained in you, and make sure that those feelings that you get when you lose focus are appropriate for that situation. The next is multitasking. And I remember, because I also review and revise resumes as a career coach. And multitasking back in the day was a key skill or a core competency that people would often have on their resume. And they are saying now, it's not considered a key skill anymore because it has been shown that people are not proficient in truly completing any task that they are doing in multiples. Because multitasking is really an illusion of increased efficiency, and it often leads to decreased performance. So when you have a lot to do, some people just like to let you know they have a lot going on. And listen, trust, I have a lot going on. I will say I am booked and busy, but some people love to say it, and it's with like little things, and they end up not really accomplishing anything because they're so focused on all the things they have to do, they don't get any of it done. So you want to be mindful of that. Overcommitting yourself as well, meaning taking on too many responsibilities or projects. That's why it's so important to calendar all the things that you have going on. And when new things come up, you really need to remember to refer to your calendar to make sure that you have the space, the energy, and the time to do that additional task or project. So many people are quick to say yes. They're trying to get on, they're trying to make an impression. So, oh yeah, you want me to do this? Okay, yeah, I got it. But when you do that, you really you become overbooked, and you really don't have the bandwidth to complete it. And when you do all of that, it starts to impact your brand in a negative way. People will start to look at you like, yeah, she'll do it, but it really won't be that good. I recommend you go with somebody else. So, you don't think that that's a good look. If you're not completing things in excellence, then you are overbooked. And it's one thing to be booked and busy, but to be overbooked, you can definitely hurt your brand. So you don't want to get marked in a negative way if you're not doing things efficiently and effectively. And if you have everything down, calendar it, understand when you need to do your reviews, when you need to complete a task, when, what the midpoints are, what should be included in those midpoints. You need to have all of that calendar out and also timed out. Block your time for when you're doing those things. And if you see that you have more open areas than not and something new comes up, then you could say, yeah, I can fit you in. I can definitely handle that. But if you really can't, at least have your resources, have your core group of people that you can also refer. Some people don't like to refer because they see it as competition. Referral, listen, it's enough room at the table. There's enough food for all of us to eat. And if you have to refer it, so be it. I know my daughter is a realtor, and if she isn't available to handle a client in the way she knows they need to be handled, because maybe she has too many clients on her roster, then she'll refer them to someone on her team. And you really do get back tenfold when you do things like that, for sure. Also, uninvited thoughts or feelings. So, mental and emotional states that intrude on your focus. Your inside voice. I talk about this a lot too. Your inside voice can be your downfall. So, you want to have that self awareness enough to know when your mind is taking you down the road that you shouldn't. It could be you saying to yourself what you can't do, or what you're not going to do, what you don't like. It could be things like that. And it could be your mind that is definitely that internal distraction. And your mind can take you to places that you won't be able to get to for a long time. Your mind can take you places where it'll paralyze you. It'll make you just not be able to move forward. You might also find yourself daydreaming about the future just way too much and losing focus. So you want to be mindful of the things that you're thinking about. And if you find that your thoughts are negative, think the opposite. I say that, and people think that's too simple. That's too simple. Like, Coach Sherry, what? What you mean? I really mean that. If you find yourself thinking negative, immediately, redirect your thoughts to thinking the opposite and think positive of that thing. So if you're saying what you can't do, you say to yourself, I will succeed, I will accomplish this, A, B, and C. Be very specific at the same time. Keep doing that. Keep, in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud. You don't even have to tell anyone you're doing it. No one can see it. It's your own thoughts. But you are redirecting it so that you can snap out of it and become more laser focused and in the moment. And staying in the moment is important. A lot of things you might be working on might be really hard. You may not have known anyone that has ever gone through it. But I always say, if God brought you to it, He's going to get you through it. So know that all you have to do is do a little bit each day. Take one step closer, and you will accomplish it. Don't look at the big picture. Stay in the moment and work with on what you have to do. When people have a lot of things going on in their life, and you can tell they again start losing focus, becoming distracted, and they just kind of easing themselves out of the picture. When you see someone, if you have a team and you see someone not really working up to their full potential, try and help them get to the root of what's really going on. Because whatever's going on around them, like outside of the work at hand, they can't do anything about it if they're in the moment at work or working on that project or whatever the case may be. You can only do where you're at. So for them to worry about what they have no control over, that's not going to fix anything. If anything, it's going to hurt their situation right there as well as the situation over there, because if they lose money here, it's going to make things even worse over there. So I always say, I know life is life, and you may have a lot going on, but at least let these 8 right here be your safe place. Be that place where you can refocus and don't even have to think about or worry about whatever else is going on, because you can't do anything about it. But stay focused right here, and you'll see, your day is going to go much quicker. You'll accomplish so much more, and you'll have more clarity. You'll start feeling even that much better about yourself. So don't want to have your mind wandering so much. And I know as I get older and as you get older, and especially when you are a subject matter expert and you find yourself going to workshops and different events. Now, unless you are on a panel or a speaker, I know for me, if I'm just purely in the audience, and if I'm not really learning anything new, and you start to get bored, and you can't do that. When you get bored, you start to again lose focus, and you may miss those one or two nuggets that were just dropped. So lack of engagement with your current activities, anything staying in the moment, again, it's about staying in the moment rather, and understanding that nothing lasts forever. So even if you are completely bored with the current activity, know that it will end. So at least try and find something within it that is either entertaining or that you're learning. And I learned that when I was pledging my sorority in undergrad. I wasn't bored. It was really hard and challenging, and I was tired and hungry most of the time. But it was a challenging situation, and I knew that I wasn't going to pledge forever. I was going to cross at one, if I stuck with it. So just like those moments when you might be bored, or it's something that just seems so long and drawn out, then just stay in that moment and know that it's going to end. And when it ends, you're going to be able to have great conversations during networking. You might even be able to speak with one of the keynotes and just elaborate more on what they have spoken about, make strong connections. It's a lot of great things that come from that if you just stay focused. So, with this overwhelming array of distractions. So I gave you the 3 technology distractions. Look, I didn't even put in the design for, I'm telling you, when I have to change pictures, it is something special. But that was the one for internal distractions. Okay. So when you have your technology distractions, your external distractions, and your internal distractions, you definitely want to be mindful of that. And again, having that level of self-awareness so you can kind of feel yourself just being pulled and it's not really serving you. And it's remarkable when with all these things vying for our attention that anything gets accomplished at all. And the challenge again lies in developing strategies to navigate the landscape of interruptions and maintain focus on your goals and tasks. That's the thing, again, when I'm doing those types of workshops to get people workplace ready, and we're talking about their beliefs and the habits that they have, but then we also have their goals, and it's like you got to look at it, is my habit going to make help me get to my goal? If you are a procrastinator, if you someone that easily gets distracted and you go with that distraction, do you reach your goal in that moment? Typically no. So specific strategies will come later from one of my podcasts, but I'm hopeful that you were able to capture some nuggets from what I shared today. So I want you to let me know in the comment section, what value are you taking away from this podcast? I know some of you are here in the chat, but if those that are looking at it in the replay, let me know in the comment section, what are some of the nuggets that you're taking away? All right, I'm going to check in with the chat and let's see. I see Pandy's hair candy and more is in the building. Hello, hello. How are you? So great to see you. So great to see you. I see Marlene Motivates is here. Great to see you. Thank you for bringing the thumbs up message to everyone. I see that you said hit for the chat to hit the thumbs up. Black Guns and Garden, thank you for being here. I appreciate your comment in my video earlier from the beach. I had such an amazing time. East Dad is in the building. East Dad, I think you and I, we listen. What? Ah, all right. Well, maybe I should say congratulations. I don't know, but great to see you. Thanks for being here. All of these are great content creators. If you don't know each other, please be sure to sure because everyone in here are good people. I see Goddess D of Love. That's a wonderful name, Goddess D of Love. Thank you. And I don't think I've ever seen you, so it's good to see you here. I appreciate you for stopping by. I hope you were able to glean a nugget or two from this information. All right, everyone. So again, remember that, listen, life is life and for everyone, but you really need to stay focused. Keep your head on the swivel for real right now. And whatever you're doing, it is possible. You just have to take your time, one step at a time. Baby steps count too. So you want to just take your time and achieve it. And at every level, definitely look back and say, wow, okay, I've come a little further. All right. Again, thanks for tuning in. And remember to practice hard so that every day when you get in, you will always win. It's been my pleasure sharing this information with you. I am Coach Sherri.